You have walked through every challenge, every doubt, and every test that life could place before you. Each struggle was not meant to break you, but to prepare you. Every moment of fear, disappointment, and delay was shaping the strength, focus, and resilience you now carry. Today, all that preparation meets its reward. Doors that once seemed closed are now opening. Opportunities align perfectly with your readiness. Favor surrounds your path, and every step you take is guided toward breakthrough. The trials of yesterday were your final tests. You have endured, persisted, and overcome. Now your blessings are not just near, they are inevitable. The life you were preparing for is ready to meet you. Step forward with confidence. Walk boldly into this new season. Your patience, discipline, and courage have positioned you for greatness. The season of struggle is over. The season of blessing has begun, and it is unstoppable. Many people quit right before the breakthrough. They walk away when the pressure feels too heavy. But you did not walk away. You stayed when it was hard. You kept going when nothing made sense. That is why this message matters. You passed a season that was designed to test your strength, and now your blessing is about to begin. There were days when you felt alone. Prayers seemed delayed. Doors stayed closed. Opportunities disappeared. But what felt like rejection was actually preparation. You were being shaped into someone stronger. This was not punishment. It was development. Growth always feels uncomfortable before it feels rewarding. You learned patience when things move slowly. You learned self-control when emotions tried to win. You learned discipline when distractions called your name. These lessons were not random. They were building your character, and character is the foundation of lasting success. Now you are entering a new season, a season of open doors, a season of answered prayers, a season where things finally align. This is not luck. This is divine timing. Your breakthrough season is beginning because you did not fail the final test. There was a moment when everything could have collapsed. One decision could have taken you backward. One reaction could have destroyed months of progress. But you chose maturity. You chose peace. You chose wisdom over pride. That decision changed your future more than you realize. Life tested your attitude. It tested your integrity. It tested your loyalty. When nobody was watching, you still did the right thing. That silent obedience mattered. Quiet strength always speaks louder than loud reactions. And that is why your life is shifting now. Your faith journey was not about perfection. It was about persistence. You fell, but you stood up again. You doubted, but you kept believing. You were tired, but you did not surrender. That resilience activated something powerful in your destiny. What is coming next is not temporary happiness. It is a stable blessing. It is a steady progress. It is a long-term transformation. Because when growth happens inside first, success follows naturally on the outside. The final test often feels like the worst moment. It feels unfair. It feels exhausting. It feels confusing. You might have wondered why the pressure increased when you were already trying your best. But pressure reveals strength, and strength qualifies you for greater responsibility. You were being prepared for elevation. Higher levels require stronger character. Bigger blessings require deeper maturity. If you received everything too early, it would have crushed you. Timing protected you. Delays protected you. Even silence protected you. During the waiting season, you learned gratitude. You learned how to appreciate small wins. You learned how to move without applause. That humility will protect your future success, because pride destroys faster than failure ever could. Now a new chapter is opening. Opportunities are aligning. Favor is surrounding your path, not because you demanded it, but because you were ready for it. Your blessing begins where your testing ends. There were nights you questioned everything. You asked if your efforts even mattered. You wondered if the struggle had meaning, but every tear built endurance. Every disappointment built wisdom. Every setback built strength that cannot be shaken. This was a character examination, not a public performance. It was about who you are when things are not working. It was about how you respond when nobody applauds. That hidden growth changed you in ways success alone never could. You learned emotional control. You learned strategic thinking. You learned to move carefully. These skills will make your next season stable, not chaotic, not rushed, stable and secure. Blessings that come after testing last longer. They carry peace. They carry clarity. They carry confidence. And that is the kind of breakthrough you are stepping into right now. Sometimes the final test looks like loss. Something leaves your life. Someone walks away. An opportunity disappears. It feels painful, but not everything lost was meant to stay. Some exits were necessary for your elevation. You were being separated from what could not grow with you. Growth requires space. It requires focus. It requires alignment. And alignment sometimes removes what does not fit your future. Instead of reacting with bitterness, you chose reflection. Instead of revenge, you chose silence. That maturity protected your destiny. Emotional control is one of the strongest signs of spiritual growth and personal development. Now new connections will appear. Better opportunities will open. Healthier environments will welcome you. Because you passed the season that was meant to break you. And since it did not break you, it built you. You reached a point where giving up felt reasonable. Nothing was moving. Effort felt invisible. Results felt delayed. But you stayed committed to your purpose. That quiet endurance proved you were ready for increase. Many people talk about faith, but few live it when nothing changes. You lived it in silence. The pressure you felt was not random. It was measuring your consistency. Could you stay focused without quick rewards? Could you keep integrity without recognition? That was the real test. Your answer was shown through actions, not words, and actions shape destiny. You became stronger in private moments. You controlled your reactions. You managed your thoughts. You trained your mind to stay calm in chaos. That mental discipline prepared you for leadership and success. A stable mind creates stable results. Now you are stepping into a new level. This level carries favor, clarity, and forward movement. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because you became stronger. The final test refined you. The blessing begins because you are finally ready to handle it. There was a season when you felt overlooked. Others seemed to move ahead. Promotions passed you. Recognition went elsewhere. It felt unfair, but comparison was part of the test. Would you stay faithful to your path without competing? You did. You stopped chasing approval. You stopped trying to prove yourself. You focused on growth instead of applause. That shift changed everything. True success starts when you stop seeking validation and start building value. During that hidden season, your skills improved. Your patience expanded. Your character matured. You learned long-term thinking. These are the qualities that sustain prosperity and long-lasting achievement. Now your time is coming. Not rushed, not forced, aligned. The doors opening now are stable. They match your growth, because when preparation meets opportunity, real breakthrough happens. There was a moment when anger tried to control you. Someone misunderstood you. Someone judged you wrongly. You had every reason to respond harshly, but you chose peace. That decision protected your future. Emotional intelligence is rare. Many lose their blessing through one careless reaction. You did not. You paused. You reflected. You responded with calm strength. That maturity passed the final test. Self-control is powerful. It shows readiness for greater responsibility. It shows wisdom under pressure. It shows leadership ability. These qualities attract favor and trust from others. Now relationships will improve. Respect will increase. Trust will grow around you because you proved you can handle pressure without losing your character. That is why your blessing is beginning. You went through financial pressure that stretched your faith. Resources felt limited. Bills felt heavy. Opportunities looked small. But instead of complaining daily, you learned management. You learned discipline. You learned gratitude for what you had. That season built financial wisdom. It taught you planning. It taught you patience before spending. It taught you how to multiply small opportunities. Those lessons are more valuable than fast money. Quick success without discipline collapses fast. But slow growth with structure builds security. You were building structure even when you felt behind. You were actually developing stability. Now provision will expand. Income will increase. New ideas will flow. Because you proved you can handle little with responsibility. Greater abundance is arriving because you are ready to manage it wisely. There was emotional pain you never spoke about. You carried disappointment quietly. You smiled publicly but processed privately. That hidden strength mattered more than anyone knew. You were healing while still moving forward. Healing was part of the test. Could you grow without becoming bitter? Could you stay kind after being hurt? You chose growth over resentment. That decision protected your heart and your future. Inner healing creates outer progress. When your heart is stable, your decisions improve. When your emotions are balanced, your path becomes clear. You developed emotional maturity through hardship. Now peace surrounds you. Clarity replaces confusion. Confidence replaces fear. Because you allowed pain to teach you instead of control you. That is why your blessing season is unfolding. There was a period of isolation. Friends became distant. Support felt limited. You felt alone in your journey. But isolation was not abandonment. It was focus training. Distractions were removed so you could hear clearly. Silence builds awareness. It helps you understand your strengths and weaknesses. It sharpens vision. It forces self-reflection. That quiet season strengthened your mindset. You discovered your identity without external noise. You built confidence without constant approval. You developed resilience without crowd support. That independence is powerful. Now new connections will enter your life. Healthy relationships, strategic partnerships, supportive environments. Because you first learned how to stand strong alone, and that made you ready to grow with others. There was a time when doubt attacked your thoughts daily. You questioned your calling. You questioned your progress. You questioned your future. But you did not let doubt win. You continued moving forward even while uncertain. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action despite fear. You practiced courage repeatedly. That consistency built mental toughness. Mental toughness is necessary for long-term success. Every time you moved forward while unsure, you strengthened your confidence. You proved to yourself that fear does not control you. That realization changed your internal world. Now confidence flows naturally. Decisions feel clearer. Vision feels stronger. Because you conquered doubt internally before conquering obstacles externally. That is why your blessing is starting now. You faced delays that tested your patience deeply. Plans slowed down. Timelines shifted. Expectations failed. It felt like life was moving in slow motion. But slow seasons protect you from premature exposure. Delays build preparation. They build understanding. They build humility. Rush success often destroys character, but delayed success strengthens it. You learn to trust the process. You stopped forcing outcomes. You focused on daily progress. That mindset shift created stability inside you. Now acceleration is coming. Things will move faster. Opportunities will connect quickly because you develop patience first, and patience makes progress sustainable. There were moments when giving in to negativity seemed easy. Complaints were available. Criticism was tempting. Blame was convenient. But you chose responsibility. You chose accountability. That decision passed another hidden test. Taking responsibility builds power. It shifts control back to you. It removes excuses. It increases growth speed. You embrace this mindset during hard times. Instead of blaming others, you improved yourself. Instead of attacking situations, you adjusted your strategy. That maturity positioned you for elevation. Now influence is increasing around you. Your voice carries weight. Your presence commands respect. Because leaders are built in hidden tests, not public celebrations. There was a time when your dreams looked unrealistic. People doubted them. Some laughed quietly. Others warned you to be realistic. But you did not shrink your vision to match their comfort. Vision is part of destiny. Protecting it is essential. You guarded your goals carefully. You worked silently. You avoided unnecessary explanations. That focus preserved your energy. Quiet consistency always defeats loud doubt. While others questioned, you prepared. While others talked, you improved. That discipline separated you. Now your results will speak. Progress will become visible. Growth will become undeniable because you passed the final test of staying faithful to your vision. There was a season when betrayal tried to harden your heart. Someone you trusted changed suddenly. Promises were broken. Loyalty was tested. You felt disappointed, but you did not let that pain turn into hatred. That response showed real growth. Betrayal reveals character. It shows who collapses and who rises. You chose dignity instead of revenge. You walked away with self-respect. That decision protected your peace and your future. Hard experiences can either poison you or polish you. You allowed them to polish you. You became wiser. You became more careful. You became more aware without becoming cold. Now healthier connections are aligning. Stronger bonds are forming. Reliable people are entering your life because you passed the test of betrayal without losing your integrity. There was a time when opportunities looked small. The tasks felt basic. The progress seemed slow. You wondered if this was all life had for you, but you stayed faithful in small assignments. That consistency was being observed. Small beginnings build large outcomes. Every simple task built skill. Every ordinary day built discipline. You did not despise humble starts. You treated them with respect. Growth hides in routine. Excellence hides in repetition. You practiced daily improvement, even when it felt boring. That steady commitment shaped your success mindset. Now greater responsibilities are approaching. Bigger platforms are opening. Expanded influence is near. Because you proved you can handle small things with excellence. There were moments when you felt emotionally drained. Energy was low. Motivation was weak. But you still showed up. You still did the work. That quiet strength mattered more than excitement ever could. Discipline beats motivation. Motivation changes with feelings. Discipline moves regardless of feelings. You learned how to act without waiting for perfect emotions. That mindset transformed your productivity. You stopped waiting for inspiration. You created momentum through action. That habit built unstoppable progress. Now results are forming consistently. Stability replaces unpredictability. Progress becomes steady because discipline carried you through the final test. There was a time when confusion surrounded you. You did not understand why certain doors closed. You did not see the full picture. But instead of panicking, you waited and observed. That patience saved you from wrong decisions. Clarity often comes after chaos. Confusion forces deeper thinking. It strengthens judgment. You allowed uncertainty to sharpen your awareness. You learned to pause before reacting. You learned to gather facts before moving. That careful approach increased wisdom in your life. Now direction feels clear. Choices feel aligned. The path looks stable. because you passed the test of uncertainty without rushing into mistakes. There was a season when criticism followed you. Some judged your growth, some misunderstood your silence, but you refused to fight every opinion. You understood that not every voice deserves your energy. Criticism tests emotional security. When you know who you are, outside noise loses power. You stopped explaining yourself to everyone. That self-assurance showed maturity. Instead of reacting, you improved quietly. You let results speak. You let consistency defend you. That strategy preserved your focus. Now respect is growing naturally. People notice your calm confidence. Influence increases without force, because you passed the test of criticism with grace. There was a moment when shortcuts looked attractive. Quick gains seemed possible. Compromise looked easy. But you chose the long road. You chose integrity over instant reward. Shortcuts often destroy long-term success. Compromise weakens foundations. You protected your future by refusing to lower your standards. Integrity is invisible at first, but it builds powerful results over time. You stayed committed to your values when nobody would have blamed you for bending them. Now trustworthy opportunities are appearing. Solid partnerships are forming. Reliable success is developing. Because you passed the test of temptation. You experienced a season of silence. No clear signs. No dramatic answers. Just quiet waiting. But silence was not absence. It was preparation behind the scenes. Silent seasons build depth. They strengthen internal stability. They teach you how to stand without constant reassurance. You learn to trust the process without daily confirmation. That inner confidence developed strength no applause could create. Now movement is visible. Doors are opening. Progress is undeniable. Because you passed the test of silence without losing belief. There were days when exhaustion almost defeated you. You carried responsibilities alone. You handled pressure quietly, but you refused to collapse. You kept moving one step at a time. Endurance creates champions. Steady progress builds unstoppable momentum. You focused on daily wins instead of dramatic breakthroughs. That mindset kept you alive in difficult moments. It kept your vision alive. It kept your future intact. Now renewal is arriving. Energy is returning. Strength feels fresh because you endured the hardest phase without quitting. There was a period when you questioned your value. You wondered if you truly mattered. But instead of shrinking, you invested in self-development. You read. You learned. You improved quietly. Self-growth is powerful. It increases confidence. It expands opportunity. It builds resilience. You chose development instead of self-pity. That decision transformed your identity. You no longer depend on external approval. You carry internal assurance. Now new opportunities recognize your worth. People see your growth. Doors open naturally because you passed the test of insecurity by building yourself. There was a time when your environment felt limiting. Support was weak. Resources were small. But you did not blame your surroundings. You maximized what you had. Resourcefulness is rare. It turns little into much. It transforms limits into learning experiences. You practice creativity under pressure. Instead of waiting for perfect conditions, you created progress within imperfect ones. That mindset strengthened your adaptability. Now expansion is near. Better environments are forming. Stronger networks are appearing. Because you passed the test of limitation with innovation. There was a period when you felt invisible. Your efforts were not celebrated. Your sacrifices were not acknowledged. It seemed like your dedication was unnoticed. But hidden growth always happens before public recognition. You were building roots before rising. Being unseen tests motivation. It asks why you truly do what you do. Is it for applause or for purpose? You discovered that your drive was deeper than validation. That realization strengthened your foundation. When no one clapped, you still worked. When no one praised, you still improved. That silent consistency shaped a powerful mindset of excellence and resilience. Now visibility is increasing. Recognition is coming naturally because you passed the test of invisibility without losing commitment. There was a moment when fear of failure tried to stop you. You imagined worst-case scenarios. You doubted your ability, but instead of freezing, you acted anyway. That courage changed your direction. Fear is part of growth. It appears when you are stretching beyond comfort. You did not run from it. You faced it with action. That bravery expanded your capacity. Every step forward built confidence. Every attempt built experience. You learned that failure is not the end. It is feedback for improvement. Now bold opportunities are approaching. Bigger chances are forming. Because you passed the test of fear with decisive movement. You experienced a time when patience felt exhausting. You waited longer than expected. You prepared longer than others. But waiting refined your character. It strengthened endurance. Patience builds emotional balance. It reduces impulsive mistakes. It increases clarity. You practiced staying calm while others rushed. That internal calm will protect your next level. Rapid growth requires stable emotions. You develop that stability in the waiting room. Now progress accelerates. Things move faster. But you are calm within the speed. Because you passed the test of delay without frustration. There was a season when comparison tried to steal your joy. Social media showed success stories. Others celebrated milestones. But you chose gratitude over jealousy. Comparison drains focus. Gratitude multiplies peace. You shifted your attention to your own journey. That mental discipline preserved your energy. Instead of competing, you concentrated. Instead of envying, you improved. That focus strengthened your path. Now your own milestones are unfolding. Your progress feels personal and meaningful. Because you passed the test of comparison with contentment. There was a time when uncertainty surrounded your future. Plans changed. Paths shifted. But you did not panic. You adapted with wisdom. Flexibility is strength. It allows you to grow in changing seasons. You adjusted strategies without abandoning your vision. That adaptability prepared you for leadership. Leaders move through change with confidence. You practice that skill quietly. Now stability forms around you. Clear direction replaces confusion because you passed the test of uncertainty with resilience. You faced moments when anger felt justified. Situations were unfair. Words were hurtful. But you chose controlled responses. Self-control protects destiny. Quick reactions destroy progress. You paused before speaking. You responded with calm authority. That maturity elevated you internally. You gained respect without demanding it. You preserved relationships without losing dignity. Now peace surrounds your interactions. Harmony increases in your environment because you passed the test of anger with wisdom. There was a period when you felt overwhelmed by responsibility. Tasks multiplied. Pressure increased. But you organized your priorities instead of complaining. Organization creates clarity. Clarity reduces stress. You learn to manage time wisely. You learn to focus on what matters most. That discipline increased productivity. It reduced chaos. It built professional growth and personal stability. Now efficiency defines your days. Success becomes structured. Because you passed the test of pressure with strategic thinking. There was a time when loneliness felt heavy. Support seemed distant. But instead of collapsing, you built inner strength. Solitude builds awareness. It helps you understand yourself deeply. You developed emotional independence during that season. You discovered your voice. You strengthened your mindset. You became confident without constant reassurance. Now meaningful connections are forming. Genuine support is arriving. Because you passed the test of loneliness with courage. You encountered moments when doubt whispered constantly. It questioned your ability. It questioned your purpose. But you replaced doubt with daily action. Action silences uncertainty. Progress weakens fear. You chose movement over hesitation repeatedly. Each small achievement restored confidence. Each completed task built belief in yourself. Now self-assurance feels natural. Confidence becomes steady because you passed the test of doubt through persistence. There was a season when discipline felt boring, repetition felt tiring, but you understood that greatness is built through routine. Consistency creates mastery. Mastery attracts opportunity. You stayed committed to daily habits even without excitement. That long-term focus shaped your identity. It built sustainable success patterns. Now results compound. Growth multiplies because you passed the test of routine with dedication. There was a season when your confidence was shaken. A mistake made you question your ability. You replayed it in your mind many times. But instead of staying stuck in regret, you chose responsibility. You corrected what you could and learned from what you could not change. Failure is not a life sentence. It is a classroom. It teaches precision, humility, and awareness. You allowed that lesson to refine your judgment. That maturity strengthened your future decisions. Many people let one error define them. You did not. You used it as fuel for improvement. You rebuilt quietly with stronger focus and sharper thinking. Now fresh opportunities are appearing, not because you never failed, but because you grew through it. You passed the test of failure by turning it into wisdom. There was a time when you felt misunderstood. Your intentions were pure, yet others misread them. You could have fought to defend yourself constantly, but you chose patience and consistency instead. Time reveals truth. Character proves itself through repeated actions. You stayed steady. You allowed your behavior to speak louder than arguments. That restraint protected your peace. It preserved your energy for meaningful progress. It showed emotional intelligence and self-control. Now clarity surrounds your reputation. Trust increases naturally because you passed the test of misunderstanding with quiet strength. You went through moments when giving up seemed logical. Results were slow. Support was minimal. Motivation was low. But you kept showing up daily. Showing up builds resilience. It creates momentum even when feelings fluctuate. You refuse to let temporary emotions decide permanent outcomes. That determination strengthened your internal discipline. It separated you from average thinking. It built a success mindset rooted in commitment. Now progress feels consistent. Forward movement feels natural because you passed the test of discouragement with perseverance. There was a period when your loyalty was tested. Someone needed you during their difficult time. You could have walked away, but you stayed supportive without expecting reward. Loyalty reveals depth of character. It shows reliability and stability. You demonstrated both when it mattered most. That consistency built strong relational foundations. It strengthened your ability to maintain healthy connections and meaningful partnerships. Now supportive people stand beside you. Reliable networks surround you because you passed the test of loyalty with integrity. There was a season when pride tried to influence your choices. Success began to grow. Recognition started increasing, but you stayed humble. Humility protects progress. It keeps you teachable. It keeps you grounded. You chose gratitude instead of arrogance. That mindset preserved your growth. It attracted mentors and wisdom instead of conflict. It allowed expansion without ego. Now elevation continues smoothly. Influence grows steadily because you passed the test of pride with balance. You experienced moments when frustration built inside. Progress felt slower than expected, but you did not lash out. You analyzed and adjusted. Strategic thinking replaces emotional reaction. You chose evaluation over explosion. That decision strengthened your leadership ability. Problem solving became your habit. You focused on solutions instead of complaints. That perspective shifted outcomes in your favor. Now complex situations feel manageable. Confidence guides your decisions because you passed the test of frustration with strategy. There was a time when temptation appeared in subtle ways. It offered comfort over growth, ease over effort, but you recognize that comfort can limit potential. Growth requires stretching beyond convenience. You chose challenge over comfort repeatedly. That built mental toughness. Discomfort sharpened your skills. It increased resilience. It strengthened your focus on long-term goals. Now advancement feels earned. Success feels stable because you passed the test of comfort by choosing growth. You faced a season where negativity surrounded your environment. Conversations were pessimistic. Expectations were low, but you protected your mindset carefully. Mindset shapes reality. You guarded your thoughts. You limited negative influence. You fed your mind with constructive information. That discipline preserved optimism. It maintained clarity. It strengthened your ability to lead with confidence. Now your environment is shifting. Positivity surrounds you more often because you passed the test of negativity with mental strength. There were moments when you felt delayed compared to others your age. You wondered if you were behind. But instead of rushing, you refined your preparation. Preparation outlasts comparison. You invested in skills. You built financial wisdom. You strengthened emotional stability. That quiet preparation created a solid foundation. It prevented premature success from overwhelming you. Now progress feels aligned with your readiness. Achievements arrive with stability because you passed the test of timing with patience. There was a period when you doubted your voice. You hesitated to speak up, but you gradually developed confidence through knowledge and experience. Confidence grows through preparation. You studied, you practiced, you improved communication skills. That development built authority. It strengthened your presence. It increased impact in conversations and decisions. Now your voice carries influence. Your words create change. Because you passed the test of insecurity by investing in growth. There was a stretch of time when progress felt painfully slow. You worked hard, yet results barely moved. It seemed like effort and outcome were disconnected. But slow progress was strengthening your endurance. It was training you to value steady growth over quick success. Speed is exciting, but stability is powerful. You learned how to build layer by layer. You stopped chasing instant results and focused on sustainable development. That mindset transformed your journey into a long-term success strategy. Each small improvement added up. Each quiet win created momentum. You did not see dramatic change overnight, but transformation was happening beneath the surface. Now growth is visible. Momentum is real because you passed the test of slow progress with unwavering commitment. There was a time when distractions tried to pull you away from your purpose. Entertainment, gossip, unnecessary drama. They all competed for your attention, but you chose focus over noise. Focus is a rare skill. It multiplies productivity and accelerates achievement. You reduced what wasted time. You protected your goals carefully. That discipline sharpened your direction. It increased efficiency. It created clarity in your daily routine. Now results are sharper. Progress is cleaner because you passed the test of distraction with intentional focus. You faced moments when self-doubt whispered quietly at night. It questioned your potential. It questioned your preparation. But instead of surrendering to those thoughts, you replaced them with action. Action builds belief. Repetition builds confidence. You trained your mind through consistent effort. That internal work changed your self-image. You began to see yourself as capable and resilient. That identity shift is powerful. Now confidence feels grounded. Decisions feel bold because you passed the test of inner doubt with disciplined action. There was a season when you had to forgive someone who never apologized. It was difficult, it felt unfair, but you understood that holding resentment would only delay your own peace. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is freedom. It releases emotional weight. You chose emotional health over bitterness. That decision healed your heart. It protected your mental clarity. It allowed you to move forward without carrying past pain. Now peace feels stronger. Joy feels lighter because you passed the test of resentment with maturity. There were days when you felt financially stretched. Budgeting became necessary. Sacrifice became routine. But you managed your resources wisely instead of falling into panic. Financial discipline builds long-term stability. You learn to plan. You learn to prioritize. You learn to invest in growth. That season strengthened your money mindset. It prepared you for greater provision and responsible expansion. Now increase is coming with structure. Opportunity meets preparation. Because you passed the test of financial pressure with wisdom. You experienced moments where leadership was required unexpectedly. People looked to you for direction. You could have stepped back, but you stepped forward calmly. Leadership grows in difficult seasons. It is built through responsibility and clear thinking. You accepted the challenge without fear. That courage expanded your capacity. It strengthened decision-making skills. It increased trust from others. Now influence rises naturally around you. Authority grows steadily because you passed the test of responsibility with confidence. There was a period when you questioned your purpose. You wondered if you were on the right path. But instead of quitting, you evaluated and refined your direction. Reflection builds clarity. It prevents wasted effort. You adjusted strategy without abandoning vision. That flexibility protected your long-term goals. It kept you aligned with meaningful growth. Now your direction feels clear. Purpose feels solid because you passed the test of confusion with thoughtful reflection. You faced criticism that felt personal. Words cut deeply, but you chose improvement instead of retaliation. Constructive evaluation is powerful. You filtered what was useful and ignored what was harmful. That wisdom strengthened your development. By focusing on growth, you transformed criticism into fuel. That resilience elevated your mindset. Now feedback feels empowering. Growth continues steadily because you passed the test of harsh words with composure. There were moments when exhaustion tried to stop you. Your body felt tired. Your mind felt overloaded, but you learned to rest strategically instead of quitting permanently. Rest is not weakness. It restores strength. You balanced effort with recovery. That balance protected your health. It preserved your productivity long term. Now energy feels renewed. Focus feels sharper because you passed the test of burnout with healthy boundaries. There was a time when success around you looked intimidating. Others achieved visible milestones. But instead of shrinking, you let their progress inspire you. Inspiration builds motivation. You studied their discipline. You applied similar principles to your own journey. That learning mindset expanded your potential. It replaced jealousy with strategy. Now your own achievements are rising. Progress feels earned because you passed the test of intimidation with inspiration. There was a moment when you had to choose between comfort and calling. The safe option looked easier. The familiar path felt secure. But deep inside, you knew growth required movement. You stepped away from comfort and embraced change. Change is never simple. It stretches identity. It challenges habits. But you accepted the discomfort because you understood that personal development demands courage. That bold step marked a turning point in your journey. Leaving comfort built confidence. It proved that you trust long-term vision over short-term relief. That mindset separates those who dream from those who achieve. Now expansion feels natural. New territories open before you because you passed the test of comfort by choosing purposeful growth. There was a season when your voice was ignored in important rooms. Suggestions were overlooked. Ideas were dismissed. It felt discouraging. But instead of withdrawing, you refined your knowledge and strengthened your communication. Preparation creates authority. You invested in learning. You sharpened your expertise. You improved presentation skills and clarity of thought. That commitment elevated your confidence. It prepared you for bigger platforms and stronger influence. Quiet improvement built visible impact. Now when you speak, people listen. Your words carry weight because you passed the test of rejection with strategic preparation. You experienced a period where trust was broken unexpectedly. It created distance. It created caution. But you did not close your heart permanently. Healthy boundaries replaced blind trust. Wisdom replaced naivety. You learned discernment without becoming suspicious of everyone. That emotional intelligence strengthened future relationships. It helped you build connections rooted in respect and transparency. Now trustworthy partnerships are forming. Stability surrounds your circle because you passed the test of broken trust with balance. There were days when motivation disappeared completely. Passion felt distant, goals felt heavy, but you relied on structure instead of feelings. Systems create success when emotions fluctuate. You followed routine. You honored commitments. You focused on small daily tasks. That consistency rebuilt momentum. It restored clarity. It strengthened discipline beyond emotion. Now drive feels stronger. Progress feels steady because you passed the test of lost motivation with structured action. There was a time when uncertainty about finances created stress. Future planning seemed unclear, but you did not ignore the challenge. You educated yourself. Financial literacy became a priority. Budgeting improved. Planning increased. That responsibility prepared you for long-term security. Instead of fear controlling decisions, knowledge guided strategy. That shift changed your economic direction. Now financial opportunities align with wisdom. Growth becomes sustainable because you passed the test of uncertainty with education. You encountered moments when influence could have corrupted your values. Recognition increased. Praise grew louder, but you remained grounded. Success can distract from purpose. You guarded your mindset carefully. Gratitude stayed central in your thoughts. That humility preserved your character. It kept relationships healthy. It maintained clarity in decision-making. Now success feels balanced. Growth feels stable because you passed the test of influence with humility. There was a period when isolation felt permanent. You wondered if support would ever return. But solitude strengthened independence. Independence builds confidence. It teaches self-reliance. You developed strength that does not depend on constant affirmation. That inner stability prepared you for healthier connections. You learned how to stand alone without fear. Now companionship feels meaningful. Partnerships feel secure because you passed the test of isolation with courage. There were moments when fear of judgment limited expression. You hesitated to share ideas openly, but you gradually embraced authenticity. Authenticity builds influence. It attracts the right people. You chose honesty over perfection. That transparency created trust. It increased impact in conversations and leadership roles. Now your authenticity draws respect. Your confidence inspires others because you passed the test of judgment with bold honesty. You faced seasons when progress seemed invisible. Effort felt unnoticed. But you understood that growth often happens beneath the surface. Roots grow deeper before branches expand. You trusted that internal development would eventually show externally. That patience strengthened belief in long-term vision. It protected you from quitting prematurely. Now visible expansion is happening. Results reflect preparation. Because you passed the test of invisibility with faith in the process. There was a time when emotional wounds resurfaced unexpectedly. Old memories challenged your peace, but you confronted them instead of suppressing them. Healing requires honesty. You processed pain thoughtfully. You allowed yourself to grow through reflection. That emotional work strengthened mental clarity. It improved relationships. It created healthier patterns. Now peace feels authentic. Joy feels grounded. Because you passed the test of emotional triggers with self-awareness. There were days when rejection tried to define your worth. Opportunities slipped away. Invitations never came. Messages went unanswered. But you did not let those moments determine your identity. You kept moving forward, focused on preparation instead of disappointment. Rejection is a filter, not a sentence. It shows what does not fit your path while preserving space for what aligns. You learn to differentiate between temporary denial and permanent limitation. That awareness strengthened your resolve. Each closed door was a lesson. Each setback was insight. You built resilience quietly, preparing for the bigger opportunities that would soon arrive. Your patience and discipline turned rejection into growth. Now doors are opening that match your vision. Favor is aligning with readiness. Because you passed the test of rejection by staying steady in faith and focus. There was a season when criticism from others felt personal. Words stung. Opinions weighed heavily. But you chose to filter what mattered and discard what would distract. You converted critique into learning, not complaint. Wisdom grows when you learn to listen selectively. You adopted discernment and improved without internalizing negativity. That skill strengthened your confidence and decision-making. Constructive insight built knowledge. Reflection built character. You moved forward with a refined perspective. That quiet adjustment prepared you for elevated responsibility. Now, respect surrounds your choices. Influence increases naturally, because you passed the test of criticism with maturity and clarity. You experienced moments when your own doubts felt overwhelming, the future seemed uncertain, progress felt slow. But instead of stopping, you took deliberate action, step by step. Action is stronger than emotion. Consistency builds trust in yourself. You learned that moving forward in small increments beats waiting for perfect confidence. Each decision reinforced belief. Each small victory strengthened momentum. You learned that faith in action is more powerful than faith in feelings alone. Now opportunities appear with clarity. Confidence guides your steps, because you passed the test of doubt through consistent action. There were times when fear tried to paralyze your progress. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of unknown paths. But you acted anyway. You relied on preparation rather than panic. Courage is not the absence of fear, but action in spite of it. You discovered that bold steps create lasting results. That bravery expanded your capacity and influence. Every action taken against fear increased your skill and confidence. You learned that resilience grows in the presence of risk. Now growth unfolds naturally. Challenges are met with composure, because you passed the test of fear with intentional courage. There was a period when patience was exhausting. Every plan seemed delayed. Every hope seemed stalled. But you remained disciplined, trusting timing over impatience. Patience creates clarity. It teaches endurance. You develop the ability to wait while preparing, understanding that growth comes in seasons. That calm persistence built strength and vision. It allowed you to move with strategy instead of frustration. Now acceleration is arriving. Movement is consistent because you passed the test of delay with steadfast patience. There was a time when temptation tested your integrity. Quick gains, easy shortcuts, and immediate satisfaction presented themselves. But you chose long-term success over instant reward. Integrity ensures that every advancement is sustainable. You maintain standards that protected future growth. Your choices created trust and stability in every area of life. That discipline solidified your foundation. It allowed progress to occur without regret. You strengthened mental and emotional resilience. Now opportunities align seamlessly. Growth is secure because you passed the test of temptation with steadfast integrity. You faced moments when isolation felt heavy, support systems seemed distant, friends were unavailable, yet you embraced solitude as a season of preparation. Solitude teaches self-reliance. It strengthens internal confidence. You developed resilience, independent of external validation. That independence prepared you for meaningful connections. You learned how to lead and thrive alone without fear or doubt. Now relationships are deeper. Collaboration is stronger because you passed the test of isolation with maturity and focus. There were days when disappointment tempted you to quit. Expectations were unmet. Results were slow, but you continued consistently, building discipline over comfort. Consistency is the foundation of long-term achievement. Your persistence reinforced skill, character, and focus. You grew silently while others doubted or gave up. Each effort reinforced your belief in yourself. Each completed task strengthened your momentum. The foundation you built prepared you for sustainable success. Now achievement flows naturally. Opportunities arrive in alignment with your readiness because you passed the test of discouragement through relentless perseverance. There was a season when external circumstances felt overwhelming, challenges stacked one after another. You felt pressure from every side, but instead of panic, you adapted strategically and stayed composed. That calm response strengthened your problem-solving skills. Adversity teaches resilience. It forces creative thinking. You learn to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. That approach built a mindset prepared for long-term growth. Every difficulty became a lesson. Every obstacle reinforced patience, clarity, and strength. You turned struggle into preparation for bigger opportunities ahead. Now stability surrounds your path. Challenges are met with wisdom because you passed the test of pressure by responding with composure and insight. There were moments when envy threatened your peace. Others achieved milestones faster. Recognition came to some before you, but instead of resentment, you chose focus and learning. Comparison distracts from progress. You shifted energy into personal growth, skill development, and preparation. That mental discipline strengthened your trajectory. Each step taken in focus, rather than in jealousy, built internal power. You protected your mindset from external noise and distraction. Now achievement comes naturally. Progress reflects your preparation because you passed the test of envy with self-discipline and vision. You faced times when uncertainty clouded your decisions. The next step was unclear. The future felt unpredictable. But instead of hesitation, you gathered knowledge and acted wisely. Discernment grows through uncertainty. You learn to evaluate options, anticipate challenges, and choose strategically. That skill reinforced confidence and authority. Each informed decision strengthened your judgment. Every cautious move built reliability in your actions. You cultivated a thoughtful, proactive mindset. Now, clarity guides your decisions. Paths open seamlessly because you passed the test of uncertainty with careful evaluation and insight. There were moments when criticism felt heavy, opinions attacked your choices, but instead of reacting defensively, you learned from what was constructive and ignored what was distracting. Constructive feedback builds growth. Negative noise is a filter for focus. You improve through reflection, creating stronger strategies and resilient thinking. Your approach transformed challenges into development. It reinforced your patience, clarity, and emotional control. That maturity shaped sustainable success. Now respect surrounds your influence. Impact grows naturally because you passed the test of criticism with composure and discernment. There was a period when fear tried to dominate your actions. You considered avoiding risks. You questioned capabilities, but you moved forward with careful preparation and courage. Courage grows when fear is acknowledged, but not obeyed. You developed resilience by acting despite uncertainty. That mindset expanded your potential. Every choice strengthened confidence and self-trust. Every risk taken under preparation reinforced leadership and vision. Now opportunity flows steadily. You move forward with clarity because you passed the test of fear with courageous action. You faced seasons when impatience tempted poor decisions. Deadlines felt urgent. Pressure mounted. But you waited strategically and acted wisely. Patience ensures sustainable growth. Acting too early can collapse progress. You mastered timing, aligning effort with readiness. Your disciplined patience strengthened judgment, reduced mistakes, and increased the quality of outcomes. That foresight prepared you for long-term achievement. Now advancement comes smoothly. Timing aligns with preparation because you passed the test of impatience with disciplined timing. There were moments when external negativity tried to invade your mindset. Doubt from others, gossip, criticism, but you filtered what you allowed in and focused on constructive growth. Guarding your mind strengthens resilience. You chose insight over distraction. You built mental clarity and protected internal peace. Each step reinforced focus. Each careful choice strengthened judgment. That disciplined mindset prepared you for lasting progress. Now positivity surrounds your environment. Your influence is steady because you passed the test of negativity with mental discipline. You encountered times when your self-belief wavered. You questioned whether your skills, knowledge, or effort were enough, but you persisted through action, refining ability and confidence daily. Belief grows through consistency. You learned to trust in preparation rather than fluctuating emotions. That resilience reinforced your long-term vision. Each accomplishment restored confidence. Each challenge overcome strengthened determination. You learned that persistent effort builds unshakable self-assurance. Now your confidence drives results naturally. Opportunities reflect your preparation because you passed the test of self-doubt with consistent action. There was a season when disappointment tried to derail your momentum. Plans failed. Promises were broken. Results lagged behind expectations. But instead of surrendering to frustration, you analyzed, adjusted, and kept moving forward with discipline. Disappointment is a teacher disguised as delay. You learned resilience, flexibility, and strategic thinking. Instead of bitterness, you cultivated patience and clarity. That mindset strengthened your path towards success. Every setback became a step forward in disguise. Every failure carried a lesson that refined your skill, judgment, and focus. You transformed obstacles into preparation for future breakthroughs. Now achievement flows naturally. Opportunities arrive aligned with your readiness because you passed the test of disappointment with resilience and wisdom. There were moments when temptation appeared subtle yet persistent. Quick rewards, easier shortcuts, and comfort whispered to you. But you remained steadfast, choosing long-term growth over immediate ease. Discipline is forged in temptation. You learn to prioritize vision over convenience, integrity over shortcuts. That restraint strengthened character and prepared you for sustainable success. Every choice made with awareness reinforced your self-control. Every time you resisted, your influence and leadership grew quietly yet powerfully. Now advancement is aligned with your integrity. Favor arrives naturally because you passed the test of temptation with self-discipline and foresight. You faced seasons of uncertainty where the future seemed unclear. Decisions felt risky and outcomes unpredictable. But you relied on careful planning, knowledge, and patience rather than impulsive actions. Strategic thinking in uncertainty builds confidence and foresight. You strengthened your ability to act wisely, even when outcomes were not guaranteed. That skill laid a foundation for sustainable growth. Each informed decision created momentum. Each pause for assessment improved judgment. You built a mindset prepared for long-term achievement. Now clarity guides your path. Opportunities align with your preparation. Because you passed the test of uncertainty with disciplined action. There was a period when external criticism tried to shake your focus. Opinions challenged your choices. Voices questioned your capabilities. But you chose to focus on growth rather than reaction. Discernment turns critique into opportunity. You filtered constructive insight from destructive noise, using lessons to improve while maintaining inner peace. That approach reinforced strength and stability. Every thoughtful adjustment strengthened your strategy. Every ignored distraction preserved energy for meaningful progress. You moved forward with intention, not emotion. Now respect and influence grow steadily around you. Favor aligns naturally, because you passed the test of criticism with calm judgment and focus. You encountered moments when fear threatened to freeze action. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. But you acted anyway, relying on preparation and inner resolve. Courage is choosing action despite fear. You embrace challenge as a means to grow. That mindset expanded your capacity and confidence quietly but powerfully. Every step forward reinforced self-belief. Every risk taken increased resilience. You strengthened your readiness for opportunities ahead. Now progress unfolds smoothly. Challenges are met with composure because you passed the test of fear with deliberate courage. There were seasons when impatience tested your judgment. Urgency tempted hasty decisions. But you learned to wait, evaluate, and act at the right moment. Timing is as important as effort. Acting too soon can disrupt growth. You cultivated patience and alignment, preparing for breakthroughs without rash mistakes. That deliberate approach strengthened long-term results. It built trust in your decisions and consistency in outcomes. Now advancement arrives in perfect alignment. Success feels stable because you passed the test of impatience with strategic timing. You faced times when negativity from your environment could have swayed you. Criticism, gossip, and pessimism surrounded you. But you maintained focus, positivity, and determination. Filtering influence builds resilience. You protected your mindset, preserving clarity and drive. That mental discipline ensured steady progress despite external pressure. Every decision reinforced your focus. Every positive choice strengthened your path. You created momentum that is both quiet and powerful. Now stability and progress define your environment. Opportunities align effortlessly because you passed the test of negativity with controlled focus. There was a time when self-doubt whispered louder than confidence. You questioned your skills, your readiness, and even your worth. But instead of letting fear control your choices, you committed to consistent action and small, deliberate steps forward. Action silences doubt. Each completed task reinforced belief. You learned that confidence is built through doing, not wishing. That steady persistence reshaped your mindset from uncertainty to assurance. Every effort strengthened your internal compass. Each success, no matter how small, became proof of capability. You began trusting yourself more than external validation. Now self-belief guides every decision. Opportunities align naturally with your readiness because you passed the test of self-doubt with unwavering commitment and focus. There were days when exhaustion threatened to halt your progress. The weight of responsibilities, mental strain, and long hours could have led you to quit. But you chose to rest strategically while continuing consistent effort. Rest is not surrender. It restores energy for sustainable growth. You balanced effort with recovery, protecting both your health and your trajectory. That careful rhythm strengthened endurance and clarity. Every period of rest fueled future action. Each step forward became sharper, more purposeful. You built momentum while respecting your limits, ensuring long-term success. Now strength and energy flow steadily. Productivity is consistent, and growth is sustainable. Because you passed the test of exhaustion with disciplined balance. There was a season when comparison tempted frustration. Others advanced faster, celebrated more publicly, or gained recognition before you. But you chose focus over envy and strategy over resentment. Comparison steals peace and clouds judgment. You redirected energy toward personal growth, skill development, and strategic preparation. That mental discipline strengthened resilience and vision. Each step taken in focus reinforced your confidence. Each improvement strengthened momentum. You realized progress is personal, not measured against others. Now your achievements align with your readiness. Success feels earned and meaningful because you passed the test of comparison with patience and self-mastery. You experienced times when uncertainty clouded every decision. The path forward was unclear, but instead of rushing, you gathered information, analyzed options, and acted with care. Deliberate decision-making builds foresight. You develop the ability to anticipate challenges, adapt to changing circumstances, and act strategically. That discernment prepared you for elevated opportunities. Each informed choice reinforced stability. Each cautious move strengthened your foundation. You learned that thoughtful action is more powerful than impulsive reaction. Now direction feels clear, and your progress is aligned with your preparation, because you passed the test of uncertainty with wisdom and patience. There were moments when criticism from others could have shaken your focus. Words felt harsh, opinions felt personal, but you chose to extract learning from constructive insight and ignore the rest. Feedback is a tool, not a weapon. You strengthened your character by filtering advice, implementing lessons, and maintaining composure. That maturity preserved energy for meaningful growth. Each reflection built knowledge. Each adjustment strengthened your approach. You transformed potential setbacks into opportunities for improvement. Now influence grows steadily. Respect comes naturally, because you passed the test of criticism with discernment and emotional intelligence. There was a period when fear threatened to freeze your action. The unknown seemed intimidating. Risks appeared overwhelming. But you relied on preparation and courage, stepping forward even when uncertainty loomed. Courage is action in the face of fear. You developed resilience by acting deliberately, strengthening confidence with every forward step. That mindset expanded your capacity for achievement. Each decision reinforced belief. Each challenge overcome fortified readiness. You discovered that bold action, grounded in preparation, accelerates growth. Now challenges feel manageable. Progress unfolds naturally because you passed the test of fear with courageous persistence. There was a season when impatience tempted hasty decisions. Deadlines pressed, results felt slow, and the temptation to rush was strong. But instead of acting recklessly, you waited for the right moment, prepared and executed strategically. Patience ensures quality. Acting too soon can undermine effort. You learn to align timing with readiness, ensuring that each step built toward lasting success. That discipline strengthened both judgment and outcomes. Every calculated move reinforced confidence. Every delayed action preserved momentum and protected long-term goals. You discovered the power of thoughtful timing over impulsive reaction. Now progress unfolds smoothly and opportunities arrive at the right moment, because you passed the test of impatience with disciplined timing and focus. There were moments when negativity in your surroundings could have diverted your path. Criticism, gossip, and doubt surrounded you, but you chose to protect your mindset, filtering out what did not serve growth. Mental discipline preserves clarity. By focusing on constructive input and ignoring destructive influence, you strengthened resilience and maintained forward momentum. Each choice to maintain focus reinforced your internal stability. Every decision to rise above negativity prepared you for greater opportunities and aligned progress. Now your environment supports growth and influence rises naturally because you passed the test of negativity with mental strength and strategic focus. You faced times when self-doubt threatened confidence. You questioned abilities, outcomes, and readiness. But instead of giving in, you took deliberate action, proving your capacity through consistent effort. Consistency silences uncertainty. Each completed task became proof of skill and resilience. You built a mindset rooted in action, not emotion. That persistence transformed doubt into self-assurance. Every forward step reinforced belief. Every challenge overcomes strengthened determination. You realize that action creates confidence more reliably than external validation ever could. Now self-belief guides decisions naturally. Opportunities reflect readiness because you passed the test of self-doubt through disciplined action. There were days when disappointment tempted you to quit. Plans failed. Efforts went unnoticed. But you responded by analyzing, adjusting, and moving forward with patience and determination. Disappointment is a teacher in disguise. You learned resilience, flexibility, and strategic thinking. Instead of frustration, you cultivated clarity, turning setbacks into preparation for future success. Each challenge became a lesson. Each delayed outcome strengthened patience and focus. You converted frustration into a powerful motivator for progress. Now momentum is undeniable. Success unfolds aligned with effort because you passed the test of disappointment with resilience and wisdom. There was a time when temptation presented itself subtly. Quick gains, easy paths, and shortcuts were offered. But you stayed disciplined, choosing long-term growth and integrity over immediate satisfaction. Self-discipline in the face of temptation builds character. You prioritized vision over convenience, ensuring that future progress is sustainable and trustworthy. Each choice reinforced control. Every act of restraint strengthened focus. You developed a mindset ready for greater responsibility and opportunity. Now advancement aligns with integrity. Favor flows naturally because you passed the test of temptation with self-discipline and foresight. You encountered periods of uncertainty where every choice seemed risky, the future appeared unclear, but instead of panic you assessed, planned, and acted with deliberate wisdom. Strategic action in uncertain times builds confidence. You learned to navigate ambiguity, anticipate challenges, and make informed decisions. That skill laid a foundation for long-term achievement. Each measured step reinforced stability. Each thoughtful move strengthened preparedness. You discovered that clarity emerges from careful analysis, not impulsive action. Now direction feels clear, and opportunities match readiness, because you passed the test of uncertainty with patience, wisdom, and discernment. There were moments when criticism threatened to undermine focus. Opinions attacked choices, and harsh words could have distracted you. But you filtered insights from noise, improving where it mattered. Discernment transforms criticism into growth. You maintained composure while refining strategies, protecting energy for meaningful progress. Each reflection strengthened skill. Each adjustment refined outcomes. You turned potential setbacks into catalysts for improvement. Now influence grows steadily and respect builds naturally, because you passed the test of criticism with maturity and focus. There was a time when fear of the unknown tried to hold you back. Every path looked uncertain. Every decision carried risk. Yet, instead of retreating, you acted with preparation and courage, trusting your ability to adapt. Courage is not the absence of fear, but action despite it. You learned that facing uncertainty directly expands capacity, builds resilience, and strengthens confidence. Each step forward reshaped doubt into trust in your own judgment. Every move, even small, reinforced courage. Each challenge you met strengthened your ability to make decisions under pressure. You discovered that calculated risk creates opportunity where hesitation closes doors. Now progress flows with confidence. Challenges are met strategically and growth unfolds naturally. Because you passed the test of fear with deliberate courage and preparation. There was a season when impatience tempted reckless choices. Urgency pressed hard. Results felt slow. Yet you held steady, waiting for timing to align with readiness, acting only when preparation met opportunity. Patience ensures durability. Rushed actions often lead to mistakes. You learn to trust the process, to refine decisions, and to act with precision. That careful discipline shaped sustainable success. Each delayed but deliberate move strengthened judgment and efficiency. Every measured decision reinforced your long-term vision. You learned that timing is as powerful as effort. Now advancement occurs smoothly. Success aligns with preparation because you passed the test of impatience with disciplined timing and strategic focus. You faced moments when negativity surrounded you. Criticism, gossip, and doubt could have distracted your energy, but you focused on constructive insight, preserving clarity, and protecting momentum. Mental discipline is essential. By filtering external influence, you strengthened resilience and safeguarded focus. You converted potential disruption into a refined awareness of priorities. Every choice to rise above negativity reinforced inner stability. Every ignored distraction preserved energy for meaningful growth. That approach built confidence and influence quietly yet powerfully. Now your environment supports success naturally. Opportunities align seamlessly. Because you passed the test of negativity with focus, discipline, and mental strength. There were times when self-doubt clouded every decision. You questioned skill, preparation, and readiness. But instead of succumbing, you took deliberate action, proving your capacity through consistent effort and learning. Consistency overcomes uncertainty. Each accomplishment, no matter how small, reinforced self-belief. You cultivated a mindset rooted in action, not in fear or hesitation. Every forward step strengthened confidence. Each challenge overcome reinforced resilience. You discovered that persistent effort transforms doubt into unstoppable self-assurance. Now belief in yourself drives progress naturally. Opportunities appear aligned with preparation. Because you passed the test of self-doubt through disciplined, consistent action. There was a period when disappointment threatened your focus. Plans failed. Expectations were unmet. Effort seemed wasted. But you responded by adjusting strategy, analyzing outcomes, and pressing forward with determination. Disappointment is a guide, not a sentence. You learned resilience, patience, and strategic thinking. You converted frustration into preparation for greater opportunities. Each setback became a lesson. Every delayed result strengthened patience, focus, and endurance. You turned obstacles into catalysts for growth. Now progress unfolds naturally. Momentum builds with purpose. Because you passed the test of disappointment with wisdom, strategy, and resilience. You faced temptation that sought to divert your discipline. Shortcuts, comfort, and instant reward appeared enticing, but you remained steadfast, prioritizing integrity and long-term growth over immediate gratification. Self-discipline forms character. Each choice to resist temptation strengthened focus, judgment, and persistence. That restraint prepared you for sustainable success and lasting influence. Every deliberate decision reinforced self-control. Each moment of resistance increased capacity for meaningful achievement. You built readiness for elevated opportunities. Now advancement aligns with integrity. Favor flows naturally. Because you passed the test of temptation with deliberate discipline and foresight. There was a season when uncertainty clouded your every move. The path ahead seemed unclear, and risks appeared magnified. But instead of hesitating, you gathered knowledge, analyzed options, and acted strategically. Deliberate action in uncertain times builds confidence. You strengthened your ability to navigate ambiguity and anticipate challenges. That careful approach created a foundation for long-term success. Every informed decision reinforced stability. Each cautious step strengthened your preparation and readiness. You discovered that clarity comes from strategy, not from avoiding risk. Now direction feels aligned, and opportunities flow naturally, because you passed the test of uncertainty with wisdom and foresight. There were moments when criticism threatened to distract or demoralize you. Opinions were harsh. Voices questioned your abilities. Yet you learned to filter constructive insight from destructive noise. Discernment turns criticism into growth. You maintained composure while refining strategies, protecting energy for meaningful progress. That approach strengthened your judgment and resilience. Every reflection became a lesson. Every adjustment improved outcomes. You transformed potential setbacks into stepping stones for success. Now influence grows steadily, and respect builds naturally, because you passed the test of criticism with focus, maturity, and strategic awareness. You faced periods when fear tried to paralyze your action. Unknown outcomes loomed large. Risk seemed high, but you acted with preparation, trust, and courage, moving forward despite hesitation. Courage is acting in the presence of fear. Each step you took reinforced resilience and strengthened confidence. That mindset expanded your capacity to achieve more than previously imagined. Every challenge you faced fortified readiness. Each forward move increased your skill and clarity. You learned that calculated action in fear creates lasting opportunity. Now challenges feel manageable, and growth unfolds smoothly, because you passed the test of fear with deliberate courage and focus. There were seasons when impatience tempted rash decisions. Deadlines pressed, pressure mounted, yet you held steady, waiting for alignment between preparation and opportunity. Patience ensures durable results. Rushed actions often lead to mistakes. You developed trust in the process, improving timing and refining strategy. Each deliberate move strengthened judgment. Every calculated action reinforced long-term vision. You realized that proper timing can be as valuable as effort. Now advancement occurs seamlessly. Success aligns naturally with readiness, because you passed the test of impatience with strategic timing. You faced negativity in your environment, where criticism, doubt, and pessimism could have distracted you. But you filtered input, protecting your mindset and preserving focus. Mental discipline maintains clarity. By rising above destructive influences, you strengthened resilience and preserved momentum. Each choice to focus reinforced internal stability. Every step of intentional focus prepared you for growth. Every ignored distraction strengthened purpose and efficiency. You cultivated quiet power and persistence. Now your environment supports success. Opportunities arrive aligned with preparation, because you passed the test of negativity with disciplined focus and mental strength. There were times when self-doubt attempted to shake your confidence. Skills, abilities, and outcomes were questioned, but you responded with deliberate, consistent action to build evidence of capability. Consistency silences uncertainty. Each completed task strengthened belief. Persistent effort reshaped doubt into confidence, proving competence and reinforcing resilience. Every forward step solidified self-trust. Each challenge overcome reinforced determination. You learned that action, not emotion, builds unshakable self-belief. Now confidence guides decisions naturally. Opportunities match readiness, because you passed the test of self-doubt with disciplined persistence. There was a period when disappointment tried to break your resolve. Plans failed, expectations fell short, and effort seemed wasted. Yet you chose to adjust, analyze, and persist instead of surrendering to frustration. Disappointment is a teacher in disguise. You learned patience, resilience, and strategic thinking. Every setback became an opportunity to refine skills, strengthen focus, and prepare for future success. Each obstacle reinforced determination. Each delay built endurance and perspective. You transformed moments of frustration into lessons that strengthened your path forward. Now momentum is steady, and progress aligns with effort, because you passed the test of disappointment with wisdom, persistence, and resilience. There were times when temptation appeared subtly, offering comfort, shortcuts, or quick gains. But you stayed disciplined, choosing long-term growth over temporary satisfaction. Self-control builds character. Each time you resisted temptation, your focus, judgment, and perseverance strengthened. That discipline prepared you for opportunities that demand integrity and resilience. Every deliberate choice reinforced readiness. Each act of restraint strengthened your mindset and expanded your capacity to achieve meaningful results. Now advancement aligns with integrity. Favor flows naturally because you passed the test of temptation with steadfast discipline and foresight. You experienced moments when uncertainty seemed overwhelming. Every choice felt risky. The future appeared unclear, but you acted with careful planning, strategy, and confidence in your ability to adapt. Strategic decision-making in uncertain times builds foresight and resilience. You learn to navigate ambiguity, anticipate challenges, and take calculated risks. That skill strengthened your foundation for sustainable success. Each measured step reinforced stability. Every thoughtful action strengthened preparedness. You discovered that clarity is born from careful evaluation, not avoidance of risk. Now direction feels certain and opportunities align with readiness. Because you passed the test of uncertainty with patience, wisdom, and careful planning. There was a season when criticism threatened focus. Harsh words and opinions could have distracted you. Yet you filtered insight, extracting lessons from constructive feedback while ignoring what was irrelevant. Discernment turns criticism into growth. You maintain composure while refining strategy, protecting energy for meaningful progress. That maturity strengthened judgment and clarity. Every reflection built knowledge. Each adjustment improved results. You transformed potential setbacks into catalysts for advancement. Now influence grows steadily, and respect builds naturally. Because you passed the test of criticism with focused resilience and strategic thinking. You faced times when fear tried to paralyze action. Uncertainty loomed, risks seemed high, and hesitation tempted retreat. But you moved forward with preparation and courage, acting decisively despite doubt. Courage is action in the presence of fear. Each step strengthened resilience and confidence. You discovered that calculated action in fear creates opportunities others miss. Every challenge you faced reinforced readiness. Every risk taken increased capacity and skill. You learned that bravery and preparation together accelerate progress. Now challenges feel manageable, and growth unfolds smoothly, because you passed the test of fear with deliberate courage and unwavering focus. There were moments when impatience tested judgment, urgency tempted hasty decisions, but you waited, acted strategically, and trusted timing over impulse. Patience ensures long-term results. You aligned effort with readiness, improving timing and reinforcing careful planning. That discipline strengthened judgment and sustainable success. Every calculated move reinforced your vision. Each deliberate choice strengthened long-term outcomes. You realized that timing is as valuable as effort itself. Now advancement occurs naturally. Success aligns with preparation and precision. Because you passed the test of impatience with patience and strategic insight. There were seasons when negativity threatened your mindset. Doubt, gossip, and criticism surrounded you, seeking to derail your focus. But you filtered what mattered and ignored the rest, preserving energy for growth. Mental discipline builds resilience. By focusing on constructive insight and discarding distraction, you strengthened clarity, maintained momentum, and protected your vision. That focus allowed you to rise above external pressure. Every intentional choice reinforced internal stability. Every ignored distraction prepared you for meaningful progress. You cultivated quiet power through consistent, focused action. Now your environment supports success, and opportunities align naturally because you passed the test of negativity with unwavering focus and mental strength. You faced moments when self-doubt threatened to stop you. You questioned your abilities, your preparation, and your readiness. Yet you continued with deliberate, consistent action, proving your capacity step by step. Consistency overcomes uncertainty. Each completed task reinforced belief, resilience, and confidence. Persistent effort reshaped doubt into unshakable self-assurance. Every forward step strengthened trust in yourself. Each challenge overcome reinforced determination. You discovered that action builds confidence more reliably than any external validation. Now self-belief guides every decision. Opportunities arrive aligned with your preparation because you passed the test of self-doubt through disciplined persistence. There was a time when disappointment felt overwhelming. Effort seemed wasted, results delayed, but you adapted, analyzed outcomes, and pressed forward with patience and focus. Disappointment is a teacher. You learned resilience, strategy, and patience. Every setback became an opportunity to refine skills, strengthen focus, and prepare for greater achievements. Each challenge reinforced perseverance. Each delay strengthened clarity and endurance. Frustration transformed into motivation for sustained growth. Now momentum builds naturally. Progress aligns with effort because you passed the test of disappointment with wisdom, patience, and resilience. There were moments when fear threatened to stop your progress. Unknowns seemed vast, risks appeared high, but you acted deliberately, relying on preparation, courage, and strategic thinking. Courage is not the absence of fear, but acting in spite of it. Each step you took strengthened resilience and expanded your capacity to succeed. Every challenge reinforced confidence. Every calculated risk prepared you for greater opportunities. You discovered that bold action in fear accelerates growth. Now challenges feel manageable and progress unfolds smoothly because you passed the test of fear with deliberate courage and preparation. There were times when impatience tested judgment, pressure mounted, results were slow, yet you waited, acted strategically, and trusted proper timing. Patience ensures lasting results. You aligned effort with readiness, improving timing and strengthening long-term outcomes. That discipline ensured every move counted towards sustainable growth. Every deliberate step reinforced vision. Each calculated action strengthened your foundation. You learned that timing is as critical as effort. Now advancement flows naturally. Opportunities align with preparation and precision. Because you passed the test of impatience with strategic patience and foresight. You have endured challenges that tested every part of your character. Doubt, fear, disappointment, impatience, negativity, and temptation. Each trial was designed to strengthen your resilience, sharpen your focus, and prepare you for the blessings awaiting you. You did not quit when progress was slow. You acted when fear tried to stop you. You waited when impatience tempted you. Every step, every choice, every moment of discipline has built the foundation for your breakthrough. Now the moment has arrived. Momentum is on your side. Opportunities are aligning. Doors are opening that match your preparation. Favor is surrounding your path. The struggles of yesterday were never in vain. They were the tests that shaped the person ready to receive what is next. Because you passed the final test, your blessings are not just coming, they are inevitable. Your persistence, courage, and discipline have positioned you for exponential growth. Everything you've endured has prepared you for the life you were meant to step into. Today, embrace your victory. Step confidently into your future. The trials are over, the lessons are mastered, and the blessings are beginning. Your season of preparation has ended. Now your season of breakthrough is here.